Hey y'all, it's Tim, and welcome to the 10 at 10. Guys, smash that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and remember, this is a 10 at 10 for August 22nd, so we're going to talk about 10 trees that are being listed today at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the website.
And I'm Sean. Man, I'm excited. Get ready. We got some really awesome trees coming your way.
Guys, if you don't know anything about us, we're MrMaple.com, a family mail order business. We ship directly to your door. We do over 1,000 varieties of Japanese maples, and every Tuesday at 10 a.m., we list at least 10 trees. We're really listing 20. That means if you want to figure out the full listing of 20 plants, sign on at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll see the full listing of 20 plants on MrMaple.com. You can also sign up for our weekly emails, and you get a little bit of a heads up. That's a pretty cool pro tip. Let's start with Acer palmatum firefly.
Wow, firefly, that variegation, that reticulated variegation, just super awesome. Kind of has those ghost series characteristics to it.
It really does. I mean, in the springtime, you can get some pink ghost-like reticulation. That means you see the etching of the veins in the leaf, which will be a different color than the rest of the leaf. And with this one, it's just ever changing. I mean, when you see this tree in the springtime versus the flushes during the summer, I mean, it's got a purple-like border to it with just intense pink purple. And then that ghost-like reticulation on the inside is pretty spectacular. Now, one thing that's pretty unique is, you know, most of the ghost series have this sort of semi-cascading habit. This one here, the firefly, it goes straight up. I mean, this is the selection that we named here at Mr. Maple. It was found by another nursery, and we're able to put the name on firefly. They let us put that name on it. And it really does. It just lights up the garden like a firefly.
It really does. It really does. It makes anywhere in your garden, it's going to make it pop.
Now, these are one of those plants that's going to sell really quickly today. So make sure you check out fast whenever you add it to your cart. It doesn't hold it for you until you complete that checkout process. So make sure you grab a firefly today because you're going to love this plant. If you don't believe us, go to the Mr. Maple Friends group on Facebook. It's a great place to share your gardening photos with other people. And you can type in firefly. It's one people love to take photos of because it changes all throughout the seasons.
Goshiki kotohime. Wow, this is a really cool tree. That dense habit of it really stands out.
What does it make you think of?
Now, this makes me think of, you know, there's two things that come to my mind. Is that there's some makawa in it, and then there's also some shishi in it as well.
It does look like Makawi Atabusa and Shishigashira had a baby. I mean, it kind of does. Because what it does is it has a little bit flatter leaf with a little bit of curl to it, but it has that upright stature almost like a Shishigashira, but a flat leaf. And it's tighter and more dense than a Shishigashira. And that just gives a fun little appearance. I mean, Goshiki kotohime, it's one that's extremely popular for the bonsai trade. All of our trees are grafted, but this is a tree that you could go take rooted cuttings off of. And this one just puts on some pink new growth over that emerald green. And it just keeps putting on. It's a real slow grower, believe it or not. These are some really good sized 1 gallons of Goshiki kotohime.
Beautiful.
Acer palmatum Tobiosho is next, guys. And with a name like that, you'd think it came from Japan. But it was actually an introduction by a guy named Milt Toby, who was a grafter for a nursery in Oregon, and they named it Tobiosho after the guy who's their grafter. But really cool plant. I mean, this is a green upright that gives you some really nice shades of yellows, oranges, and reds in the fall.
And I say, this is one, those fall colors, when this goes to fall, it really pops, and it's really going to be a showman in your garden during those fall months.
Yeah, it's excellent for those fall colored plantings. One of the things about this, though, when you get the yellows, oranges, and reds, often a Japanese maple will go yellow, then orange, then red. What Tobiosho will do is they'll often have a lot of different fall colors on the plant all at the same time. It always ends in some really nice bold reds, some bright reds. But I mean, this is an excellent tree to put out in the landscape, give you that summery feel in the landscape. I mean, I think that's one of the things that people don't use enough in the landscape. Traditional Japanese gardening loves the greens that then goes to some really good fall colors, and that's what Tobiosho can do.
Olsons frosted strawberry. I mean, what can you say about this? The variegation, the leaf structure, everything. I mean, look at those reds that it's going through, and that growth. Just an awesome tree.
Yeah, I mean, it is a nice semi-upright. So it's got this semi-cascading habit to it, but keeps going upwards. It's one of the smaller of the ghost reticulated types. I say smaller, we're going to talk in a little bit about probably one of the smallest ones here in a minute. But Olson's Frosted Strawberry was a selection by Harry Olson in Oregon. And it got introduced by him and Del Laux. And it just has a strawberry type color in the early spring that's unreal. If you give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun, it'll hold that a little longer throughout the season. But it can really give you some really nice strawberry reds in there. And then right after that, you get some really crazy shades of like lime green coming through each and every vein in the leaf. Again, this one has that ghost-like reticulation like we talked about with that firefly.
So this one, I mean, excellent, excellent. Pair it with anything else in the Ghost series, it would go well with. And also just container gardening. This will do great in a container.
I could just imagine seeing this paired with like a first Ghost where you have that purple border in the spring with the white, pairing with the strawberries you get on Olson's Frosted Strawberry. I think that's an excellent idea.
Absolutely.
So next we've got Acer Jordan Junioto.
Very, very cool. So right now during the summer we got that green, but again, one of those, once you go into those fall colors, it's going to pop.
Yeah, and sometimes people list this as a Japonicum, but it really is an Acer Jordan. It has that really rounded full moon style leaf to it. One thing that's really cool about this plant that I didn't even know until I saw an old specimen in one of these at NJ Acer's Ed Shin's in New Jersey. This plant, as it matures, it starts to get a really nice barking interest to it too on a really old specimen. It may take long to get there, but it actually gets some really nice bark interest for an Acer Jordan. It gets almost pine bark-like bark to it on the old growth on old specimens. I mean, that's a pretty cool feature. But like you said, the fall color is electric as well. I love the Serosolums. There's not a whole lot of selections of Serosolums, so a lot of people collect those. Better grab a Junioto today because they're probably going to sell it pretty quickly.
And it's nice with that big leaf, you get something that's a lace leaf in front of it. If with this being an upright, you get something with a lace leaf in front of it is really going to make that pop.
Yeah, for sure. What do we got next?
We've got
Shitosuyama Shidari. Yo,
tongue tied.
Yeah, Shitosuyama Shidari is a red weeping lace leaf selection. One of our friends, Brian Upchurch, brought this back from Japan, and originally he thought that it was an upright tree, but this is a really nice weeper. I mean, the name Shidari means weeping, Shitosuyama being a region in Japan. It holds its color red fairly well for us. We've got one of these at Maplewood Gardens on the right as soon as you pull in at Maplewood Gardens, and one on our bank over here at the nursery. And it just really has a nice weeping habit. Like this, again, this is like you talked about, this is a good thing you could pair with that Junioto.
Absolutely. And what I really like is looking at this, that color, you say red, but it's almost like a deep, dark red, and it just really, really pops. Again, and I could see that it has those weeping aspects, but I could see why maybe they thought it was an upright at first, because it does kind of have a habit where it wants to grow up, but then it reaches out.
It does, it does. And this is just a cool one. In the springtime, you can get some cherry reds on it. I mean, it's probably one of the rarest lace leaves that we've offered on MrMaple. I think Dai might be the only one that's a little bit rare, but it's one you don't see often in the nursery trade. But this is a fantastic tree. I could see this tree becoming extremely popular in the nursery trade when people start comparing it to other lace leaves, because again, it holds its color real well throughout the season. What do we got next, Sean?
Acer Palmatum Shigi no Hoshi.
Y'all, this is a selection by Asukasa Maple in Japan. This is one of the smallest of the reticulated types. It makes a great pairing with that Olson's Frosted Strawberry like you talked about. In the springtime, it's got that white reticulation in the leaves. It's going to be 4 to 5 foot in 10 to 15 years. I mean, it's a real slow grower. I saw the original one of these that Yutaka Tanaka showed me at Asukasa Maple. It's still in a container. It was in about a 7 to 10 gallon container. And it just has a really nice serrated foliage that just gives you something really unique, really different. Again, an excellent reticulated Japanese maple.
Absolutely, and then the new growth is a little bit of a lighter lime green. You see some of that white in it at first until it gets older. Absolutely beautiful tree.
Now, one thing that's unique about this one is you get a lot more yellows to oranges in the fall. Something like Olson's Frosted Strawberry is going to give you more reds. I mean, this is going to have starkly different spring color and fall color. I took, you see this, I gave you the Japanese names, and I took hot sauce, the easy one. We've got Acer Olive Arenum hot sauce coming on the 10 at 10 today, y'all. Gonna sell out fast. A selection we named here at Mr. Maple, found by Masayoshi Yano in Japan.
Y'all know this is gonna sell out quick. You know it. You guys know this plant. You guys have heard Matt and Tim talk about this one a lot. This is just a killer. This is needed in every garden. This is one that, you know, when this hits, you better get on it.
Because this one pairs super well with that hot blonde that we often offer on Mr. Maple. We have the Heat Seeker series of the Acer Olive Arenums, and the Acer Olive Arenums have those superpowers. They're super heat tolerant, they can handle the sun very well, and this one is the red upright Acer Olive Arenum, found by Masayoshi Yano in Japan. The original code name, working name on this was Nakahara Beni B, or Nakahara Beni A. And, you know, we were talking to Yano, and Yano-san said, you know, that's not the name. That was a working name. Please put a better name on it and introduce it into the nursery trade. And so we said, does hot sauce and hot tamale work for Nakahara Beni A and Nakahara Beni B? He said, that works great. So we were real excited that we named Nakahara Beni A Acer Palmatum, or Acer Olive Arenum hot sauce. What do we got next?
We've got Jordan. Now, these are monsters that we got here getting ready to go out, but these Jordans, now you want to talk about a tree that puts on yellow. This is one that puts on yellow, and you know, he's not even doing the yellow dance, but this tree, I mean, look at it standing up to it. This tree puts on some of the coolest yellow.
I'm 6 foot, so if this is the typical size of some of the 1 gallons in there, this is insane. I mean, that's every bit of 5 foot, you know, 4.5, 5 foot on a 1 gallon. So some really large 1 gallons of Acer Jordan right now, guys. Jordan, it can be a highlighter tree. You need to give it some sunlight to bring that out. These have been in 55% white poly, but you're even starting to see some of that yellow bleaching right here on the tree itself, even in that deep shade. The sunlight really brings out the colors on Jordan. In hotter climates, you need to give some protection from the hot afternoon sun. Found by Ghirardelli Nursery in Italy. They're the people who brought us Fire Glow, Orange Dream. I mean, they introduced some amazing plants. This is said to be a sister seedling to Acer Palmatum Jordan. So it is a hybrid with Acer Palmatum and Acer Shirasalonum. The new growth on this looks more Palmatum. The older growth will start looking more and more Shirasalonum. And you can sort of see this Acer Shirasalonum in Acer Shirasalonum Jordan. Jordan is named after Ghirardelli's son, the guy who had the nursery, his son, Jordan.
Very, very, very cool tree.
Oh yeah. Guys, next we got Acer Palmatum Otaha. Again, one's gonna sell out really quickly today.
Very, very, I mean, so looking at this, you could see that different color growth and then the so dense, you know, something great for container gardening. Yeah. Very, very cool tree. It
really is. And you've seen us on Mr. Maple. We don't really grow Benihime that often. Benihime for us can be a little bit more finicky. And instead, what we'll sometimes offer is Acer Palmatum Otaha. You get a very similar low, dense, compact habit. It's in that corallinum group, so you get that pink, coral pink spring color on this thing. But like you were talking about right now with the two tones in the summer, with the green older growth and that coral pink new growth, I mean, this is a plant that just rocks it even this time of the season.
Absolutely beautiful. And like I say, great for the container if you want to bring it closer to the house, or even pair it with another tree, a lace leaf, or even something like a full moon behind it. Look beautiful.
Now, guys, that's 10 of the 20 trees getting listed today. So guys, get on MrMaple.com, check out really quick today. Things sell out fast on the 10 at 10s. But y'all, we've got our open house coming up on Labor Day. And what's the open houses like, Sean?
So open house, it is so much fun. It's fun to see all your faces, meet new people, and just talk about maples. But this one's going to be special. We've got live music happening. We've got the Carolina Drifters playing.
So Sean and Jess and Kate, who work here at Mr. Maple, are in the Carolina Drifters. Guys, go check out their single gas line. It's pretty amazing. They're going to be here in person with their band. We got a food truck here, And guys, it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a lot of fun. You can come talk maples with your friends. We've got a lot of people traveling from long distances gonna be here. Get your hotels now because Labor Day sells out quick here in Hendersonville. So make sure you get your hotels so you can be here at 8 a.m. when we open the doors on that Labor Day. Again, it's gonna be from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You don't wanna show up at 3:50 because we're gonna be closing down at 4. Make sure you get here early and go through and shop some of these cool greenhouses.
And I know there's going to be some great stuff that not normally on the site that's going to be available in those greenhouses. So make sure you get here because you want to get your hands on those.
So y'all get ready for this 10 at 10 today. Take care.
God bless.
And have an awesome day.